Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. This is Mars here. I'm here with my boys, the two great ones themselves, the pillar of the whole show, the Spin Rack, Cal and Petey. Say what's up, gents.
Going on?
Hey, ready to rock.
Wait, I gave you a great intro and you say what's going on. That's all you gotta say. A great intro. Not
Um,
even energy in that too. Oh,
Thank you,
Let's
Mars.
take it.
It's great working with you. You're also another pillar. The three, we couldn't get it done without you.
I prefer to be called Desario today.
Zario. That's like Czar. Did you spell it right?
Desario. So listen, today we're talking about what Denzel dropped during his um, during his promotion of the Gladiator 2 movie. He said something pretty interesting. So um, let's get into it and let's jump into this. What he said about the future of his upcoming projects. Selector, drop the vid.
Okay, ready, set.
Against an emperor.
Denzel, this is, of course, a sequel to a film that won a few Oscars. Was there any trepidation or pressure?
No. For me, it's about the filmmaker, especially at this point in my career. I'm only interested in working with the best. I don't know how many more films I'm going to make. It's probably not that many. I want to do things I haven't done. I played Othello at 22. I'm about to play Othello at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I've been talking with Steve McQueen about a film. After that, Ryan Coogler is writing a part for me in the next Black Panther. After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. After that, I'm going to retire.
Well, that is quite the game plan. Go
Oh,
you.
right.
Congratulations again on this film. It's absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
So we've heard it from him himself. Ryan Coogler is writing a part for him in Black Panther 3. Whoa! Denzel, we're putting him in finally into the Marvel universe. He's coming in. What are your takes on that? Who could he possibly be? Is it worth doing it? So I'm
No.
gonna pass it. We'll pause somebody positive right now first. Petey, can you start off?
I think I'm okay with this. The problem is what they set up with if it's going to be T'Challa Jr. If it's going to be T'Challa Jr. or Shuri, that's the problem we have with the movie. But Denzel coming in as obviously probably a villain. That I mean, he'd probably be pretty good. So it'll probably be fun to see him in there. They talked about him being Dormammu and the next thing, but it seems like he's going to be somebody else.
Why
So
in the world would he be doing
No, I don't think he'll be that. I think
no, that's
Bashenga.
what they announced. That's what they announced. They were saying they said that before they
that?
said
Why?
that, they kept
What?
saying he's going to be
Such a
Dormammu.
waste. Such a waste.
What do you think they should have him do? Cal.
What?
So let's hear your idea. Petey was
For,
saying something, you cut him off, so let's hear what you got to say.
no, I didn't mean to cut him off. I just couldn't keep quiet when they were saying that they want to make him Dormammu. I'm like, why? Anybody can be Dormammu. You got Denzel Washington, okay? You've got you. I mean, buddy, hell, you have black characters that you haven't used. Why can't he play one of them as opposed to this thing over here?
As long as he's not the Blue Marvel, I'll be okay. We'll
Why
see.
would he be the Blue Marvel?
'Cause that's what else would people say? Oh, we need the Blue Marvel, and I don't see anything for that character. I'm not a fan of that character, but ultimately, I think if it's a African adversary or maybe he's one of the elders, if he comes in there. We're not sure how big the part is going to be. He probably, it's been a while when they were trying to get him, and he'd been like, you know, he just been kind of a name they've thrown around from time to time. Even when Wesley was doing the Black Panther, they were still throwing Denzel's name around. So
Why not let him be Dave Jones or something?
say that again.
So why not let him be Dave Jones?
Hmm?
I mean, that really, I think, for his age, that would be a character more in line, since Gabe Jones would be somebody coming out of World War II, and you can concoct something like he probably got the Infinity Formula that Nick Fury got in the proper Marvel universe, but this guy never, had. You know, that's like off the top of my head who actually jumps in. Blue Marvel, I don't see him as. But for me, the other thing is you don't have T'Challa anymore. You decided you didn't want to recast. Okay, you wanted to go this particular route, so now I'm like, okay, well, where if you want to do him with Black Panther, where exactly does he fit in? I yeah, yeah. I just think it's too late. We had a good moment. It's done.
Well, I think there's. I mean, look, he could definitely be. There could be flashbacks to him as Bashenga. He could be flashbacks to him as T'Chaka. They could be an elder who helps to guide the new Black Panther. Who knows? There's a lot of things that they could possibly do, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Denzel Washington is one of the last preeminent actors in Hollywood. Okay,
Yes.
and I would think if you want to have him in the film, you don't want him just in some throwaway role. You would want him like, okay, don't we have like a good character here that we can fit him in with? And the other thing is like, hey, he's one of the few prominent black actors. Don't we have a character that we could like slot him with? I mean, okay, Blue Marvel doesn't work, but we do have black characters. Is there anybody that we could put? Is there anybody that we could work with this guy on? Or is it just going to be one of these situations where we just throw him in anything? He's Denzel. What? Like, no.
Well, so here's one thing. Comic book. There's a comic book website called Comic Book. They're saying there are 5 characters: Achebe the Brilliant, Madman. More Brilliant Madman. He was created by Christopher Reese and Mark Teixeira for Black Panther.
Yeah.
Reverend, originally a farmer who witnessed a village destruction. Achebe made a Faustian deal with Mephisto, through which he gained brilliant tactical abilities and the cost of his sanity. All right. So that's one. Then
How does that work? You get tactical abilities and lose your sanity?
Do you think Mephisto cares whether you have his sanity or not? His
Tactical, but he's insane. I just wanted to point that out. It just seemed to not work together. But keep
I don't
going.
think the devil cares.
Denzel Washington would have worked perfectly as T'Chaka. Okay, he would have been perfect for T'Chaka. I would have had no issue, no problem right there. That role already came. It left. We don't have Chadwick Boseman any longer. They decided we could never recast for that. We got Shuri as Black Panther. Black Panther has a son. We have no idea what's going to happen. What's going to happen there? So where does he slot into this? I'm not 100% certain. He's not Achebe though. Achebe is like a Joker character. At the end of the day, that's not him.
All right, some guy named David Monroe. Is that what you were saying before?
Who's David Monroe?
Storm's father, David Monroe.
He's going to be Storm's father.
I don't know if they're bringing Storm. They're just saying that's what they're saying. You also have Bashenga, the first king, which I think would be a great idea. And then you also have the Blue Marvel. So the Blue Marvel keeps coming up. This is the third or fourth time I've heard the Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a veteran hero. Combines military service, scientific genius, and superhuman abilities. A Korean War veteran with a PhD in theoretical physics. He worked with T'Challa on various scientific projects.
And you just want the Blue Marvel to be in one film? Because Washington says he's got a limited number of films and he's out.
So I'm not that familiar with the Blue Marvel. So you could probably give a little bit more about that because his name has come up. This is like the third time I've heard about him. So what do you think about the Blue? Is this a character that should be going on continually onward, or should this a character that can do a one and good?
He's too powerful to be in it. I mean, what do you need the Black Panther for?
True. Blue Marvel, Sentry, these are Superman analogs in the Marvel universe. So once you have one of these guys there, it becomes like, well, really, what do we need the rest of you guys for that these guys can't handle on their own? 2, Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear he's got longevity going for him because of the powers that he has, but he's still younger than Denzel Washington would be in appearance. So I'm not 100% certain on that. And then it's like, did you want to introduce this character never to show them again? Was that the kick? Because, the Blue Marvel has, been on the Avengers. He's had a limited series. He's made, some appearances and some, I wouldn't say major, okay, but he's made contributions in terms of his appearances in the Marvel Universe. So I would hope that you would want to get some usage out of him and not just be a one and done thing. But, the bigger problem I feel is that, look, him coming into the Marvel Universe, there was a perfect point, and that window, that window's done. So now, again, I'm at a loss myself to say, where do you slot this guy in? Who's the character? And but then, as much as I'm going to say, hey, I think Dormammu, you can put anybody as Dormammu. Okay, Dormammu's an interdimensional, magic user, if you will. Anybody could cast. You could cast any male actor as Dormammu. It's not a big issue. He doesn't have a face. All right. For the most part, he's masked. We don't know what this guy looks like. You can do whatever you want at the end of the day. Denzel Washington, and this is something that, you know, irks me because we've seen all of this race swapping. And then like, oh no, for Denzel Washington, we shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to give this guy a character who is black. That should, not be a big difficulty. But because of where we are and how the films have progressed in terms of storyline, Black Panther, the first movie would have been great. You didn't get it. So now you're coming in for Black Panther 3. Who's the character?
But here's another thought. What about an original Black Panther? I mean, we've had how many Black Panthers have there been since Bashenga? There's had to have been some pretty prominent ones before, right?
If we go by the comics, see, that's tough because officially it's only about 4.
Only 4.
Yeah, it's only about 4, including T'Chaka. This isn't some hundred. It wasn't this hundreds of years of Black Panther thing that they want to start turning it into, like with Black Panther, Iron Fist, where these guys have, this is like some legacy going all the way back to 10,000 BC. It was about 4. It was Bashenga. It was Bashenga. Whoever came after Bashenga, T'Chaka, and then T'Challa, because that was what they had actually. That was the lineage. And then it became, well, no, we're going to just keep this thing going back. And there's all these different type of Black Panthers. And it's like, okay, whatever. Because to be quite frank, the only one that really matters is T'Challa. That's the one that we know. That's, the greatest of the line. And that's the one who we give the most attention to at the end of the day.
Wasn't there a Black Panther in the comics who was back like 10,000 BC or 100,000?
That's this retroactive stuff where you have a 10,000 year BC Phoenix, and we know Phoenix didn't appear until Jean Grey. All of a sudden, we have one in 10,000 BC. There was a 10,000 BC Thor. There's a 10,000 BC Ghost Rider. There's a 10,000 BC Black Panther.
So it's not legit.
Well, I mean, if you want to say that, hey, this lineage goes all the way back to 10,000 BC, fair enough. You're going to be very hard pressed to show it.
Well, the other hard part is that, I mean, as you've gone on, some of the stuff they've done in the comic books is initially the Black Panther, we see T'Chaka and he's chilling in his regular gear, right? And he dies, and then the Black Panther is like, my goal is to test myself against the Fantastic Four, and then take out Claw. And then he said, the Panther prowls no more, and the FF was like, no, you have to keep going. And he's like, all right, I will. And then when I think Roy did the next issue, he established what happened because he said he created the whole jungle himself as a lark. That was something he did on his own. So it was kind of like he was kind of one of one, even if they had the subject matter there, the Panther statue that was there. But then as you go along, you hear about the past saying, hey, there was more. Even Kirby added in, there were people covering as the Black Panther whilst T'Chaka was getting older. And then he had, of course, his cousins that had the Black Panther garb. And then, but it was I think Roy Thomas did something, but I didn't like the fact that he was like, all right, we got to put some white guys in here to build the jungle with Bashenga, and then he will take back the land. It's like, you went too far. So I don't want to get into any of that. You can get into those past ones. I don't want to get into what Roy Thomas was trying to do because that goes against what Stan and Jack kind of did, where it was more T'Challa who put together the whole thing. You want to have it, back in the days they did it, fine, but you go to the stories. Well, actually, Roy Thomas did it, and it was the white man that came in and built it up, but then he took the land back because they were trying to take it over. So, and that's why Claw comes back in there. But anyway, I don't want to get too, I can see him but yeah, I mean, Cal brings up, you have Denzel, you don't want to turn it into, well, at the same time, there's a feeling that as great as Marlon Brando was in there, he took the money and ran. He did the point. He gave the gravitas. Yeah, he gave the gravitas to it. He actually didn't even want to play it. He said they hint that he said that he wanted. Hey, he should be like some sort of organism, and I'm not even on screen. But he wanted the S on his chest, and that's been like part of the lore forever. But it's like we got Denzel. You utilize it. You spent the same with Jack Nicholson. You spent the money on Jack Nicholson for, like, he got paid way more than Michael Keaton. You utilize him, and he was almost
it was good
to be the star. He was almost the star of the movie. So
Almost stole it. Yeah,
So if you
but
have someone like that, these type of talents, you want to, unless it's going to be a killer walk-on scene, you don't, and you spend a lot of money. He's a $20 million guy. He's up there with everybody else in Hollywood getting that, 20 million by, pay or play. You got to pay him. So, it's a,
well, I agree with you there. But remember when we looked at the spirit world for the Black Panther?
yep.
And what did they say? They said there are all these other Black Panthers, and then you even saw there was when there were other Black Panthers walking up. So it wasn't one or two or three. There was a
Yeah.
ton of them.
Mhm.
So I'm saying you could always
So
make
we're just
him
gonna
one of
make
them.
Denzel Washington some nameless generic Black Panther?
I'm just
Oh,
saying you could bring him up and make him
Just
and
what?
say,
wow.
hey, this is one of the most
He's one of the
important Black Panthers.
gang. There's no character. I mean,
My point
there's no
is that you said
character.
you were saying there was a limited amount, and I'm saying there aren't. There are others with stories that we have
Comics,
no
there were
idea about.
in the comics. There were four. If you want to go by the film, go right ahead. But then those guys are generic. We don't know who those people are.
Yeah.
In the comic, there was four. In the film, they can make 1,000 if you want. We don't really care about them, do we?
We're just saying what you could possibly do. That's all we're saying. Okay.
I'm going to, and I will continue to challenge that. You have a preeminent actor in Denzel Washington is the best that
Yes.
we can come up with. A generic Black Panther, like, hey, I was Black Panther '82.
Or he could be the manifestation of the true Black Panther, which is
Come on, come
Well,
Killmonger.
on.
Killmonger.
what? Oh
Killmonger
my
descended from the
God.
actual
Why wouldn't
true
you
Black
just
Panther.
use Killmonger? Why don't you just use Killmonger?
You won't stop. You won't stop. You just like, hey, you just got just come out and say it. They don't really have any ideas. They want to use Denzel Washington, but the best ideas are gone. We don't really know what they would do with them in conjunction with Black Panther. Maybe it would have to be something else, maybe another Black character, but not necessarily something that fits in here. And instead, we're spitballing nonsense. None of this stuff works. Here's how I know that if you had the money, you wouldn't invest in it. You'd be like, no way. No way.
But Denzel Washington will find a way. We will find a way. Okay. So listen, any more against?
Well, let's listen to the rest of the stuff he got in here.
No, this is really interesting too, because the whole time we've been talking, right? I'm a big Black Panther fan. I've got a complete run of the Black Panther comics. Read most of it, and I'm going back and I'm trying to remember who could Denzel Washington play? Who could Denzel Washington play that would actually connect in a Black Panther film at this point? Because unfortunately, there really aren't a lot of characters. Okay, it's T'Chaka, okay, Shuri, whatever. But those are the T'Chaka, those were the preeminent characters for the longest period of time. It was his father, okay, and then of course T'Challa himself. And then over time, you get some other people. You get some other people to come in. You get a Christopher Priest who will play up, the characters he wants to bring in. You'll get Reginald Hudlin wants to play up, Shuri because he created that character. But for the longest period of time, T'Chaka, great. Now I'm thinking like, okay, who could this guy play? Well, the best character is gone.
Who is?
For Denzel Washington, the best character would have been T'Chaka. That character's, that character's gone. And it's not just that the character's gone, the look. Okay, just the look. Because they decided that T'Chaka, if I had to cast T'Chaka, it would have been what's this guy's name? Digimon Hansu?
Right.
From Amistad. I would have casted him. I would have casted someone who still looks like, I may not be Black Panther right now, but I was Black Panther, and you can imagine I was there. When they decided to do it, the guy who they had for T'Chaka, this guy looked like he'd been retired for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. That's no slight to him, but it doesn't look like he had been in the suit for some period of time. So then you bring Denzel Washington in, and I'm like, okay, Denzel Washington usually keeps a more fit physique, if you will. So then it becomes, all right, you got two totally different looks going on here. It's a retcon, it's a hell of a retcon at the end of the day. But it's just time waits for no one, and you're gonna. It's again difficult for me to see who you slot in that works. But they're characters there, and if they're clever, okay, and if they're serious, I think they could make something work. But as of right now, I just don't have a lot of faith in them.
Okay. So anything else, Petey?
We got them talking about Gladiator. We did the video we did on Gladiator. We got to get to that. What's he talking about on Gladiator? Let's listen to this whole thing now. We got to the meat. What we interested in. Let's see what he says, and we'll stop it before he goes back to his future stuff. But it's a great career. I will say it's a great career. It seems like he has some nice stuff lined up. I think there's also something with Spike Lee that's coming on, so that's a good 6 to 7 films that he's going to be doing. So we're not losing them that quickly. So here's this other portion.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. The hype around Gladiator 2 is real. Ridley Scott has managed to pull off a worthy sequel to the 2001 blockbuster, and he's jam-packed it with memorable performances from some of cinema's biggest stars. In an exclusive interview, Dickie caught up with Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, and Connie Nielsen.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
The general will do.
Denzel, Pedro, Connie, tell me about walking into this huge, incredible world that Ridley Scott has created.
He built Rome. It made all of our jobs, I think, easier. And that's exactly what Ridley created for us all to play in an incredible world.
It's getting on a roller coaster. You get into your seat, the body holder, locks into place. You put your seatbelt on and you just go for a ride. Yeah, sometimes it gets loose, and you're holding on to the machine. It is exactly like a real adventure, and it moves so fast. I think sometimes I can't imagine how hard the crew works in terms of the logistics of the moving pieces of the set, because he calls action and you jump right in, and there are fire machines and wave machines and actual ships
And insects.
doing a battle.
This is just such a physical feeling.
Yeah, you're just completely in it.
Rome must fall. I need to only give it a push.
We'll make it out alive. Denzel, what a complex character to sink your teeth into. How difficult is it? I know it's what you do, but, when you're shooting out of context and all that, to get the narrative right.
Yeah, and actually we shut down, 4 or 5 months with the actor strike. So I had time to rethink it and possibly mess it up. But for Ridley, it gave him time to put the, first 2/3 of the film together and see what he had. To be honest with you, I haven't seen the final version of the film. I saw a version about 4 months ago, and I look forward to seeing it with an audience. I know they made some tweaks since I've seen it.
Well, you'll enjoy it. It's very good.
That's what I hear. Your Majesties.
This is your Gladiator.
It is.
Pedro, Connie, you are so terrific together on screen. What was it like working together?
Power couple.
I just remember walking onto set. I'd never met Pedro. And basically, we just chatted about what was the inspiration for the scene. And it was just such a pleasure to lean back into the scene and know that Pedro would not just he would just be bringing it, that incredible charisma, that incredible acting that he has. And then it was just so joyful and also shockingly fast.
Very fast.
Most fighters won't survive.
You must help him.
And we just dove right in.
Yeah.
And I made sure Connie understood that I was her man.
That is correct. I did feel that.
I remember that day. I never forgot it. That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Denzel, this is, of
All right,
course,
so there we go. So they sound like they're pretty interested in this thing. They're having fun.
Yeah, it looks like a good movie. Want to definitely check it out. Definitely check it out.
All right. Want to close it out?
Yeah. Cal, anything else? Okay. So, hey, if you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, spin around. You're out.
We are
Out.